Welcome, in this video we will see world's top 10 internet hackers of all time. We will see 5 black hat hackers and 5 white hat. So let's begin with black hat hackers. A black hat hacker, also known as a cracker, is someone who uses his skill with a criminal intent. Some examples are cracking bank accounts in order to make transfer to their own account, stealing information to be sold in the black market, or attacking the computer network of an organization for money. First guy is Jonathan James. James cracked into NASA computer, stealing software worth approximately $1.7 million. According to the Department of Justice, the software supported the International Space Station's physical environment, including the control of temperature and humidity within the living space. NASA was forced to shut down its computer system, ultimately racking up a $41,000 cost. James explained that he downloaded the code to supplement his studies on C programming, but contended the code itself was crappy, certainly not worth $1.7 million like they claimed. Second, Adrian Lamo. Adrian Lamo was around computer as a very young child. He had Commodore 64 when he was like 6, and his first interest in seeing how things worked behind the scene wasn't all about technology necessarily, and his interest in what you might call hacking isn't really primarily about technology. He said, "It's not sexy when I'm exploring less obvious aspects of the world that don't involve multi-billion corporations. There is a certain amount of tunnel vision there." Last year, Lamo earned the disapproval of his probation officer in closing months of his 2-year probation term when he refused to provide a blood sample for FBI's DNA database. The combined DNA index system was created to catalog violent criminals and sexual predators, but the 2004 Justice for All Act expanded the system to include samples from all new convicted federal felons, including drug offenders and white-collar criminals. Third one is Kevin Mitnick. Kevin David Mitnick is a computer security consultant and author. In the late 20th century, he was convicted of various computer and communication-related crimes. At the time of arrest, he was world famous as the most wanted computer criminal in the United States. Mitnick gained unauthorized access to his first computer network in 1979 at 16 when a friend gave him the phone number of the ARK, the Computer System Digital Equipment Corporation, used for developing their RSDS operating system software. He broke into DEC's, that is Digital Equipment Corporation computer network, and copied DEC's software, a crime he was charged with and convicted of in 1988. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Near the end of his supervised release, Mitnick hacked into Pacific Bell voicemail computers. After a warrant was issued for his arrest, Mitnick fled, becoming a fugitive for 2.5 years. According to the US Department of Justice, Mitnick gained the unauthorized access of dozens of computer networks while he was a fugitive. He used cloned cellular phones to hide his location and, among other things, copied valuable property software from some of the country's largest cellular telephone and computer companies. Mitnick also intercepted and stole computer password, altered computer network, and broke into and read private email. Mitnick was apprehended in February 1995 in North Carolina. He was found with cloned cellular phone, more than 100 cloned cellular phone codes, and multiple pieces of false identification. Fourth, Kevin Poulson. Kevin Poulson was among the most accomplished, multi-talented hackers. He worked for Sri International day by day and hacked at night under the handle Dark Dent. He trained to be complete hacker and even taught himself lockpicking. Among other things, Poulson reactivated old yellow page, escort telephone number for an acquaintance that then ran a virtual agency. When the FBI started pursuing Paulson, he went underground as a fugitive. When he was featured on NBC's Unsolved Mysteries, the show's telephone lines mysteriously crashed. He was finally arrested in February 1995. Paulson's best-known hack was a takeover of all the telephone lines for Los Angeles radio station, guaranteeing that he would be the 102nd caller and winning a Porsche 954 S2. In June 1984, Paulson pleaded guilty to 7 counts of mail, wire and computer fraud, money laundering and obstruction of justice, and was sentenced to 51 months in prison and ordered to pay $56,000 in restitution. It was the longest sentence ever given for hacking up to that time. He also later pleaded guilty to breaking into computers and obtaining information on undercover businesses run by the FBI. Fifth and the last one in Black Hat, that is Robert Tappan Morris. Morris, son of former National Security Agency scientist Robert Morris, is known as creator of the Morris worm, the first computer worm to be unleashed on the internet. As a result of this crime, he was the first person prosecuted under the 1986 Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Morris wrote the code for the worm while he was a student at Cornell. He asserts that he intended to use it to see how large the internet was. The worm, however, replicated itself excessively, slowing computers down so that they were no longer usable. It is not possible to know how many computers were affected, but experts estimated an impact of 6,000 machines. He was sentenced to 3 years probation, 400 hours of community service and fined $10,500. So this was about all-time top Black Hat hackers. In next video we will see White Hat hackers. Thank you for watching this video.